12:05 in St. Louis. Glad we are ready to get things going this morning. Hope you're having a good Tuesday morning. That's what we come to do. Monday through Friday, just talk about St. Louis, everything that's happening in your area, your town, the stories, the headlines. What are people talking about in the Lou, not only today, tomorrow, and around this time? I'm Vic Faust here, Projo alongside. It's Arch City Now. You can stream us, as you may or may not know, at X and on YouTube at Arch City Now. We've got some other streaming platforms coming up on the way. We're here to get you started on this Tuesday morning. It is hot. It is humid. Some spotty showers expected later today. Didn't quite hit a high yesterday. 97, I believe, was the high. Heat index about 104. But as we know, it was absolutely insane with heat. It just feels warmer than that. And that's high as it is. And we're going to get another day of that. Maybe not quite as hot, but splitting hairs at 104 and 103 heat indices. Thanks from that standpoint. Lots of topics to get into today. Lots. Cardinals got a win. We'll get into that. Chiefs have announced their preseason training camp dates, which are open to the public and free of charge, but you have to call and register for those. We'll get into those. A lot of news happening in St. Louis. Air tags popping up again as news that people should be interested in. These air tags work. People try to steal your stuff. You've got air tags. You're going to find it. But yet people still think that they can steal massive vehicles and they can steal government-issued vehicles, and nothing's going to happen. Yeah, something's going to happen. We'll talk about the Galleria's announcement where Nordstrom is leaving the Galleria. I still remember the Galleria back in its heyday. I really do. And it's a shame. It fell apart for a variety of reasons. Obviously, malls not becoming as popular, online shopping, but other reasons as well. So we'll talk about Nordstrom leaving. Also got an $18 million initiative to connect Tower Grove, the Tower Grove Park, to the innovation community. That's something that's extremely positive, make it more safe to connect people for walkways and bikeways, which we'll get into. We've got information about comedy shows, chess club shows, you name it, a hospital leaving West County, all kinds of things to get into today. And of course, whatever you guys want to talk about, because the show is for you from that standpoint. Also, an award for a local donut shop, which we talk about, and then some concerning news. First of all, when it came to Janae Edmondson, the lovely young lady who lost both of her legs, when a guy, Daniel Riley, flew through a yield sign and hit her. It's just really sad what's happening. Hopefully something can be changed in the state of Missouri. We'll see where that goes when it comes to laws to help this young lady, because believe it or not, she's still suffering. And then I don't want to say got victimized, but when it comes to what her settlement was, Missouri law stopped her from getting what she should have gotten. And, Governor Kehoe has appointed 5 individuals for the new St. Louis Commissioners Board. As we know, the state taking over control of police in St. Louis City. And also, we've got information about trends in St. Louis City where somebody has finally raised the flag and sounded the alarm when it comes to St. Louis losing people that they are not going to get back. Is it something we should be concerned about? Our population, not only in the city, but county leaders concerned St. Louis is just losing people allegedly right and left, and the birth rate is not up as well. A lot of these things to talk about when it comes to St. Louis as we're here today. And of course, anything else that you guys want to talk about, we will do that too. We've also got a situation where you can jump in on the chat line. You can do that through YouTube and X at Arch City Now. Once again, YouTube and at Arch City Now. We'll get into the comments. We appreciate you guys jumping in to do that as well. We'll give you a phone number as well when it comes to joining our show. You can stream us in all of these places that we were talking about. Plus, we have got, let's see here. Okay. just making sure we had our stuff. Pro Joe's alongside today as well. And we just love it when you guys interact in the show, not only interacting with us, but interacting with each other as well. So it is a Tuesday morning. It's going to be hot, hot, hot. People talking about staying cool in St. Louis, and that's exactly what we're going to try to do. Okay, out of the gate, congratulations to the Cardinals. They got a big win last night. Always good to take that first series, the game of the series. They got a 4-game series. They won last night. They're 3.5 out. They really looked good. 8-2 was the final, and they used the long ball last night, which was fun to see. Not 1, not 2, not 3, 4 home runs in the game. Hopefully, setting the stage for what will be a very, very, very good game 2, game 3, and game 4. The Brewers also just 3.5 games behind the Cubs. So this could be, I repeat, it could be a very, very tight finish all the way through. To see where everything's going to happen with our Cardinals. I just know this. You have to win these games now because we don't want to see the Cardinals get a little bit later in the year and, we're down 6 or 7 now. No, you want to be closer than that. So that was big. They got the job done last night. Congratulations from that. Also, when it comes to the attendance, a lot of Cubs fans in town, Cardinals fans, those tickets are purchased. Still would be great if people can deal with the heat to get down to the ballpark and watch the Cardinals push forward as they try to catch up on the Chicago Cubs. When it comes to sports news as well, Chiefs are still big in St. Louis. There's a lot of people who love the Chiefs. I'm not a huge Chiefs fan. That's all right. We'll still put the information out there. But you've got till at 10 a.m. today, you can contact the Kansas City Chiefs and register to go to their practices. That's right. They'll have their practices open this year, as they do most years, July 22nd through August 13th. Once again, July 22nd through August 13th. These are open to the public at the Mosaic training fields that they have. You can request up to 6 tickets per visit, and you can have 3 total visits before they'll say, no, you can't come. So if that's how much you're into football, you can do that with the Chiefs, and people can go in and do whatever they want from that standpoint. Once again, we talked about the weather today. You're going to be maybe not as quite as hot as yesterday, but can you really feel the difference between 93 and 97? Maybe you can. Hot, humid, maybe some spot showers later in the show or later in the day. And, of course, if you want to talk about how you're staying cool, what's happening in St. Louis, what's a good way to stay as cool as possible, we appreciate that. We do this every day. Of course, coming up at 8 o'clock is Hot Take Central 2.0. Once again, that's Hot Take Central 2.0 with Cam Jansen and Jim the Cat Hayes. We continue to be live and on location this week. I'm in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, sporting my St. Louis gear, walking around, but we continue to bring you our show every morning, which is what we're trying to do. Projo's in the house yesterday. You were working. Did you say you were working outside yesterday, Projo, in the heat? Is that what you were talking about?
I was doing an outdoor photo shoot, and
okay, wait a second. Who does an outdoor photo shoot when it's 104 heat indice?
Crazy models. Models that spend a lot of money prepping for a shoot and don't want to cancel it.
So crazy models, really?
Yeah.
What kind of shoot?
It was just bikini, cars, normal stuff.
Wait a second. That's normal stuff?
Yeah.
Maybe in your life. Okay, so wait a minute. How can models in bikinis get on cars when it's 100 degrees outside? That'll burn.
Wasn't on them. They were near them, though, yeah.
Oh, okay. Maybe that's my problem there.
And they were indoors, too.
I'm still seeing 1980s Tiny Contain. That's my problem.
Right. Yeah.
Didn't the models used to get on the cars? They didn't stay next to them. Go.
Yeah. When you're oiled up, though, it's kind of hard to stay on a car.
Oh, my gosh. You never know where we're going to go with the subject. Okay. How do you keep, makeup and everything else and not sweating in a photo shoot?
You got to ask them. I don't do any of that. I don't do makeup. I don't do fashion. I just show up and press a button.
Oh, is that it?
Yep.
It's so easy. A monkey can do it.
Exactly.
Come on. You got to give yourself some credit from that standpoint. So you felt the heat.
Yeah. Oh man, it was brutal. We had
Did they have extra lighting on them?
no, I mean just normal flashes, like the strobes that I use, the flashes.
Oh, okay.
And
So I take it you were sweating all over the place.
yes, yeah,
My
it
gosh.
was fun.
Okay, there you go, St. Louis. Model shoots outside in 104 heat indices all over the St. Louis area. All right, I gotta love it. Gotta love it. You got to make that money whenever you can. We
Absolutely.
appreciate it. That's the voice of Projo. We can't show you any. Can we show you when we do these? When you're talking back and forth too, or is that too much of a problem?
It's not a problem at all. I just forget
Okay. Well, it helps me to see
conveniently.
you. We love to show people. We love to show people you back there too. Oh, there he is. Projo in the house as well, doing his model shoots. All right, Projo, we appreciate you. Thank you. That's our own Wilson. When we get started today in the show, if you guys have topics, jump in on the chat line. Let us know. You can also email us at archcitynow@gmail.com. Once again, archcitynow@gmail.com if there's a subject you want to shoot out. Also, if you want to shoot out we'd love to give out the shout outs. Shoot them out to us for people and or businesses for a reason throughout the St. Louis metropolitan area who we should be focusing on or talking about for whatever reason. Let us know. We'll do what we can do from that standpoint to make sure that people see what's happening all throughout the St. Louis area. By the way, if there's another way, what we talk about when it comes to St. Louis, if there are new restaurants opening up, if there are new features, venues, we want to know. We want to talk about that as well. These are, and somebody may know about something that's happening in South County that people in St. Louis County don't know about, more centrally located, or North County. Let us know. Pop it in there. You just never know. People like to know what's happening in the area. That's what this network is all about. It's what's happening in St. Louis. And of course, as always, check out luinfo.com. Once again, luinfo.com. It's our website that has all of the show's information, what's happening, the shows that you can find, and so forth. Also, if you want to give a call to our show and talk things over, people do that occasionally. You can do that as well. The phone number for that is 855-282-8255. That is 855-282-8255. And of course, give us a call. Projo will hook you up. We'll talk. We'll see what's happening in the city of St. Louis. And I'm kind of in a middle ground here before we take our first break. You know what? By the way, speaking of sports and games, the World Chess Hall of Fame has a concert series coming up that begins June 5th. Want to make people aware of that. Obviously, the World Chess Hall of Fame in the St. Louis metropolitan area as well. Also, when it comes to we talked about the Cardinals, the Chiefs. We got a hot, humid day coming forth today. You want to stay cool as much as possible, whatever you need to do. As I said yesterday, think about people who are working outside, like Projo and others. When we come back after we take our first break of the morning, we've got news about Old Town Donuts. That's right, Old Town Donuts, and where they finished in the national contest for the best donuts in America. And once again, they did it in a NCAA style tournament bracket. So that plus people got to learn that you can't steal things with air tags in them. If you steal something, an air tag's probably in it. We're going to take our first break. You are watching Arch City Now with Vic Faust. Glad you're with us. We are your information station. We are live and on demand at luinfo.com. Back with more right after this.
Hot Take Central 2.0 with Cam Jansen and Jimmy the Cat Hayes. Weekday mornings from 8 to 10, only on the Lou Information Station. Streaming 24/7 at luinfo.com. 590 AM, just like any other St. Louisan. We may go away, but we always come back. The Lou Information Station, streaming 24/7 at luinfo.com. Get your content when you want it, how you want it. luinfo.com.
Summer in St. Louis means one thing: Cardinals baseball. It's more than a game. It's an STL tradition. The crack of the bat, the roar of the crowd, the boom of the fireworks. It's the soundtrack to summer for Cardinals Nation. So grab your cap and glove and take your spot in the stands. Because in St. Louis, baseball is more than a melody, it's our favorite song.
This is former Cardinal and Navy Lieutenant Mitch Harris. Salute those who served. Join the Cardinals on Friday, July 11th for Military Appreciation Night, presented by Boeing. With a special themed ticket, fans will take home an exclusive Cardinals 40-ounce tumbler, honoring all 6 military branches. Arrive early for a powerful pregame concert by the U.S. Air Force Band on the Budweiser stage. And best of all, a portion of each ticket benefits USO Missouri. Get your tickets at cardinals.com/think. St. Louis Cardinals for the Lou.
This is your LouInfo.com news update. St. Luke's will be closing its DePere Hospital because of financial pressures.
You're taking all my...
Elsewhere, and those who work at the hospital will be offered other positions or given severance packages. The hospital will close August 1st, while St. Luke's Medical Group, located in the DePere Medical Office building, will remain open. Work on the Tower Grove connector portion of the Brickline Greenway project is beginning. It's a $245 million project, adding miles of new paved foot and cycle paths. First phase is under construction now along Tower Grove and Van Deventer Avenues and will finish next summer. The second phase will begin after that. A man died after being electrocuted in a park in South St. Louis early Monday morning. Detectives think the man was tampering with the electrical box, trying to get it open at Carondelet Park when the accident happened. Florissant's Old Town Donuts has been voted the best in the U.S. in a bracket-style contest. Via the 64, the St. Louis County shop beat 63 others to win the title. For the Lou Information Station, streaming 24/7 at louinfo.com, I'm Jen Austin.
Here's your LouInfo.com weather update. A shower or thunderstorm possible today, but the big news will be the heat and humidity. That'll continue. We'll have some sunshine, mid-90s on the air temperature. Factoring in the humidity, it'll feel like about 103. So remember to stay hydrated today. Try to stay out of the sun as much as you can. Cloudy overnight, upper 70s, hot and humid again on Wednesday, mid-90s. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton for the Lou Information Station, streaming 24/7 at louinfo.com.
Hey everyone, Cam Jansen here to tell you about the experts at Fast Signs in Earth City. Fast Signs can handle any and all of your business visibility needs, from traditional signs and graphics to digital to core graphics and anything in between. Fast Signs in Earth City has you covered. The station uses them, the Blues use them, and you will love the work they do. Call 314-344-4400 for your custom signage needs today. That's Fast Signs in Earth City, 314-344-4400.
Is diabetes keeping you from enjoying life's special moments? At US Med, we understand the challenges you face, and we're here to help.
With US Med, I can finally manage my diabetes without it managing me.
US Med offers a wide range of services to simplify your diabetes care. Personalized care plans, convenient access to cutting-edge diabetes tech, and knowledgeable support. Plus, we'll check your insurance so your diabetes care may be covered at little or no cost to you.
With US Med, I feel confident and control of my diabetes. I can finally live my life to the fullest.
Don't let diabetes hold you back. Choose US Med and experience better birthdays, better adventures, better anniversaries, and better everything. Call now. US Med. Better service, better care. 800-891-6335. 800-891-6335. 800-891-6335. That's 800-891-6335.
Who needs a vacation? Are you ready for an unforgettable getaway? Start packing your bags because Branson, Missouri, the vacation and entertainment capital of the U.S., is calling your name. For just $99 per person, here's what you get. A full 3-day, 2-night stay in a luxury resort hotel, a delicious full breakfast buffet every morning you're here, and when you call right now, free show tickets worth up to $100. That's right, free show tickets to an award-winning show on us. You don't have to leave the country for an amazing vacation. You can drive or fly to Branson and have an incredible time. Whether you bring in the whole family or just planning a romantic escape, this trip is built for you. We guarantee you'll love Branson. This is not a timeshare. It's just an unbeatable vacation deal for only $99 per person. You book now, you can use your tickets anytime this year. You don't even know your travel dates to lock in the special price. Hurry, because this offer won't last long. Call our Branson vacation expert today.
800-497-7198. 800-497-7198. 800-497-7198. That's 800-497-7198.
back to more of Arch City Now with Vic Faust on the Lou Information Station, streaming 24/7 at luinfo.com.
Hey guys, welcome back. Vic Faust here, Arch City Now, producer Joe alongside. I'm reporting to you live. We do our show live from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina this week, where I am located. You'll see the scene behind me. You'll hear some noises, maybe on the podcast, maybe on the radio. You'll hear some of those things going on. It's a little bright, but it's all good for the most part. We continue to bring you our show about St. Louis. What a hot day yesterday. Same thing in South Carolina. It was about 94 yesterday. What the high will be here, high about 97 yesterday. With heat indices over 100, of course, we are a live show, so we bring you live stories as they come up. Just getting you set for the day. We cover all the news that's happening in St. Louis. What's going on as we get you set for the day. We talk about anything and everything that you guys want to talk about as well. Sad news that just came out too. A pedestrian was struck and killed overnight on 255 near Caseyville on the Metro East side. Near the roads. Unfortunately, we've said too many of those kinds of news stories lately. And a boil water advisory is issued for Overland after another overnight water main break. I guess with the heat on older pipes in Overland. We had one yesterday morning in South St. Louis from a water main break as well. When it comes to the highs, when you look today in the next, 96, 96, 95, 93, 94, 90. And that takes us all the way through Monday. And that's not even including the heat index, which we know that many times can be, 7 to 10 degrees more. So just be ready when it comes to that. Also, the Cardinals took on the Cubs last night to begin their 4-game series, and what a huge win that was. 8-2 the final. The Redbirds hit 4 home runs in the game. They're 3.5 games out of first place now. If you want to talk about that, we'll do that as well. We're love to talk about wins. Good news when it comes to the Cardinals. And obviously the home runs that are being hit are fantastic. We have been talking about this since we came on the air too. The tornado happened, the last one, May 16th. Well, people are still cleaning up. They still need help. If you know of anybody, Chaffetz Arena is still helping survivors, the storm survivors, with supplies of any kind. If you know anybody that needs help or anything, let them know. Chaffetz Arena is a place to go if they need any sort of help when it comes to that. Any things you guys want to talk about, let us know. You can jump in on our chat line as well. You can do that at YouTube and X. It's Arch City Now. Once again, Arch City Now on YouTube and X. Let us know what you guys want to talk about, and we'll do that. Okay. We started talking about Old Town Donuts in Florissant. Then they had a new location in Cottleville. We started doing that in the beginning of the show. Not today, but the beginning about 3 weeks ago. Trying to promote people to vote for them, which they could. And what do you know? And USA Today readers, Old Town Donuts has been named the best donut in America. That's right. Your very own Old Town Donuts. I have had Old Town Donuts. Yummy, 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 yummy. Try them out. Florissant and Cottleville. What happened was they did and if you have other donut shops, and we said that one day people were throwing out all kinds of suggestions when it comes to the Old Town Donuts, but it was set up. 64 national donut companies that were nominated went head-to-head in voting competitions, just like you would see the NCAA brackets, the basketball brackets for the tournaments. I can tell you this, Old Town, as they made their way through and did quite well, they ended up beating a donut shop out of Nashville, Tennessee. And then they ended up beating one out of Cleveland, Ohio to take the title. Congratulations to Old Town Donuts. We're in the mornings. Maybe we need to do something with Old Town Donuts. Get a good coffee branch as well, as we talk about coffee and donuts for Arch City Now in the morning.
Okay.
We can do that. Yeah, heck yeah, Pro Joe. We can certainly do that. It's just cool to see St. Louis getting recognized. Another fun thing to do that we talk about. By the way, like, subscribe, share the show. If you have a topic or something you want to talk about, you can do that. You can also give us a call. The phone number to call in is 855-282-8255. That's 855-282-8255. 888-555. We are talking everything St. Louis on this Tuesday at 5:39. It is June 24th. Not sure what you guys are up to these days dealing with all the heat, if you're outside or not, but obviously if you found ways to keep cool, if you know of things going on, let us know. That's what we like to do. We like to promote as much as we can everything that's happening throughout St. Louis. So Old Town Donuts takes the prize. If you've had Old Town Donuts, feel free to let us know. If you have any questions about Old Town Donuts, maybe somebody else can jump in and talk to us about that as well. Okay. Another topic that I wanted to get into, the Galleria is losing Nordstrom. Nordstrom's lease runs out in August, so they have made the announcement that they are not staying at the Galleria. If you guys have any memories of the Galleria and obviously what it once was, and I know that things change in life, but you just see more and more of those stores leaving. The Galleria is, it's nothing like it used to be. I know there were people who had safety concerns. I know people started to go there less. I mean, if you look at West County Center still has crowds. At times it's still difficult to find parking in a Nordstrom parking lot. But they just said they're leaving. And it's like, okay. So once what was a great shopping center is losing. I mean, and it's not just Nordstrom there, but they've lost other stores as well. If you had a feeling on it, positive, negative, when it came to the Galleria, we'll take those as well. It's just when you think about it, it's like, wow, okay, they're leaving. We want things coming to the St. Louis area, not leaving the St. Louis area, not leaving the mall area. But I get it. People change their habits. They start shopping differently. But from all intents and purposes, the Galleria at West County Center is doing well. And the company says that there's no plans to leave there. They have another store in the St. Louis area as well. It's just, I remember going into Nordstrom a lot over there at the Galleria. And of course, people will talk and give their opinions on what's happening. But anytime that happens, people need to be concerned. And it leads to another situation where you have St. Louis leadership now talking, and we talk about these things in St. Louis on what's happening, what shouldn't be happening. But you've literally got the Veterans Public Policy executive, Chip Castile, coming out and saying that the St. Louis region, quote, as what he said is, quote, "We are in trouble. St. Louis region slowing population growth spurs a call for action." I mean, literally, that was the headline last night, because we're losing population. St. Louis City is losing population, and we can talk all day long about why and what are the factors. And I'm telling you right now, crime is one of them. It is in the St. Louis area. Also, finding good stores, finding where people are living. While there are some people moving to the St. Louis area, more people are leaving. And then the population is dwindling, and the birth rate, and a lot of topics thrown in there, is lower, and it's not growing. And it's not just a St. Louis issue. It's an issue all around the country, as a matter of fact, when it comes to not having enough population. And St. Louis is right in the mix of that. When you look at where the population is now to where it was 20 years ago, we have fallen off big time. And that's what Chip Castile is talking about. We have to figure out something. We have to find a way, somehow, some way to get people back into the city of St. Louis. And it's not just St. Louis. Now, keep in mind, St. Louis is the cog in the wheel. It is. I mean, the entire community goes around St. Louis. We want the city of St. Louis doing well. And that's a vision for Mayor Kara Spencer as well when it comes to that. Another topic we'll talk about later. She was not in support of the St. Louis police going under state control, but she said, you know what? I will go with this, unlike the previous Mayor Tashard Jones, which wouldn't even talk, to see what the possibilities are, because I'm concerned about St. Louis, my town, my area. I want to do what it takes. And now you have not only St. Louis City, but you have connecting areas not doing as great as we should. and we've got to find a way. And you tell me, I mean, are there people moving in to St. Louis City? I mean, in droves, not one person here, one person there, or do you know more people that are leaving? From the chat line, Greg says the Galleria is nearly 40 years old. It's outdated. It's outlasted quite a few other malls. It did well, and it has done well, and it's still in business. It's just that you don't want to lose those anchor stores, especially in Nordstrom. Those are important to keep, and they don't have them, or at least they've lost that one. So you got to find a way. What is the plan? How do you get people to come back into St. Louis? Easier said than done, that's for sure. We've broken some of those things down on the show, but what would you do? And how do you make it work? I talked about some people that I know that we'll have on this show who own properties. They're trying to revamp Laclede's Landing, and they have towers of living, and it's beautiful inside. So many, 3 of their 5, I don't know. I remember at least 3 of their 5 are sold out, including, I think it's 11 Cardinal baseball players living there as well. So there are hopes, there are signs of things that can make St. Louis good, that show that there's a turnaround. But let's be real. This takes time. It doesn't happen overnight. St. Louis didn't have some of the negatives just all of a sudden happen overnight. It happened over time. I've always said you've got to have 100% safety, first of all. Then there has to be, once you have complete safety, or safety that's working, police that are working, which are a deterrent, then you've got to have investment. And I don't think people are going to invest in a place that they don't feel safe in, not only safe for themselves, but safe for their businesses. Let's just be real. And that's what the show is all about. We talk about what St. Louis is talking about, the issues, the topics. Everybody is invited here to share their topics, whether it is jumping in on the chat line on YouTube and X at Arch City Now. Once again, YouTube and X at Arch City Now. But then also you have a situation where you can give us a call, and the number to dial is 855-282-8255. It's 855-282-8255. Let us know your opinions on things that are happening, and of course, we can have some conversations about that. It's just when you have public officials who are willing to say these things publicly, quote, we are in trouble. We are in trouble. St. Louis region's slowing population growth spurs call for action. Yeah, we can say things, but how are you going to get people to move to St. Louis? Safety, jobs, quality of life. Okay, great. Usually, and the school system, if you're in the public school system in the St. Louis area, are you comfortable with what St. Louis City public schools are going to offer? Or are you going to have to pay more money to send kids to private? These are all issues that go into play with getting people and families to move there. Now, maybe it's a little easier for individuals or people without kids, but you want them to move there, and then you want them to stay there. I don't know. There's a lot of places around the Midwest that St. Louis is competing with that'll make that a whole lot more difficult as well. A possibility from the chat line, maybe the area is thinning, people moving further west. I remember Mid-Rivers area was just a side street off Highway 70. Harvester was farmland. Yeah, there's no doubt people are moving that way. As a matter of fact,
St. Charles County for years has been just booming.
Yeah, it has been. And you know what? And we'll talk more about that coming up right after the break. We'll also tell you about something else that's not a very good, we're about positive, but you got to get positive stories. Another story with Janae Edmondson, the young lady who lost her legs 2 years ago when she was in town for a volleyball tournament. We'll get into some of those things coming up right after the break. Also indicative of where people are moving. This is Arch City Now. I'm Vic Faust. We are the Lou Information Station. We're live and on demand at louinfo.com. Join the show. Let us know what's up in your neck of the woods. We'll be back to talk more about that in just a second. You can also give us a call at 855-282-8255. Back with more of Arch City Now right after this.
Take control of your life and money once and for all. The Ramsey Show with Dave Ramsey. Weeknights from 6 to 9. Only on the Lou Information Station. Streaming 24/7 at louinfo.com.
Summer in St. Louis means one thing: Cardinals baseball. It's more than a game. It's an STL tradition. The crack of the bat, the roar of the crowd, the boom of the fireworks. It's the soundtrack to summer for Cardinals Nation. So grab your cap and glove and take your spot in the stands, because in St. Louis, baseball is more than a melody. It's our favorite song. Hey, Cardinal fans, hydrate like a champ. Head to the ballpark Saturday, July 12th as the Cardinals take on the Braves. That day, 20,000 fans 16 and older score a City Connect tumbler courtesy of Coca-Cola and Quick Trip. Stay cool and sip in style all summer long with this 30-ounce stainless steel tumbler. Don't miss out on this fan-favorite giveaway. Grab your tickets today at cardinals.com/promotions.
This is Nolan Gorman, St. Louis Cardinals for the Lou.
Join your fellow St. Louis City SC fans at Hot Shots Sports Bar and Grill. All St. Louis area Hot Shots locations are proud to be a part of City on Tap, presented by Michelob Ultra, the official network bringing St. Louis City fans and ice-cold beer together. Catch every exciting moment of the 2025 MLS season at Hot Shots. Since 1990, Hot Shots has championed St. Louis sports, and they're thrilled to keep the tradition alive for St. Louis City SC. Find the Hot Shots near you at hotshotsnet.com.
This is your louinfo.com news update. St. Luke's will be closing its De Pere Hospital because of financial pressures. Patients will be transferred elsewhere, and those who work at the hospital will be offered other positions or given severance packages. The hospital will close August 1st, while St. Luke's Medical Group, located in the De Pere Medical Office building, will remain open. Work on the Tower Grove connector portion of the Brickline Greenway project is beginning. It's a $245 million project, adding miles of new paved foot and cycle paths. First phase is under construction now along Tower Grove and Van Deventer Avenues and will finish next summer. The second phase will begin after that. A man died after being electrocuted in a park in South St. Louis early Monday morning. Detectives think the man was tampering with the electrical box, trying to get it open at Carondelet Park when the accident happened. Florissant's Old Town Donuts has been voted the best in the U.S. in a bracket-style contest. Via the 64, the St. Louis County shop beat 63 others to win the title. For the Lou Information Station, streaming 24/7 at louinfo.com, I'm Jen Austin.
Here's your louinfo.com weather update. A shower or thunderstorm possible today, but the big news will be the heat and humidity. That'll continue. We'll have some sunshine, mid-90s on the air temperature. Factoring in the humidity, it'll feel like about 103. So remember to stay hydrated today. Try to stay out of the sun as much as you can. Cloudy overnight, upper 70s, hot and humid again on Wednesday, mid-90s. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton for the Lou Information Station, streaming 24/7 at louinfo.com.
Looking to get organized and support local? At St. Louis Closet Company, we've been designing custom closets and storage solutions right here in St. Louis for over 30 years. From walk-in closets to home offices and even pantries. We create personalized, organized spaces that fit your lifestyle and your space. Built locally and installed professionally. Call 314-781-9000 for your free estimate or visit stlouisclosetco.com today.
Are you paying too much for term life insurance? There's a tremendous price war among the major term life companies. Rates have dropped dramatically in the past 2 years. For example, a man age 45 non-tobacco user, $1 million of coverage is only $75 per month, level for the next 10 years. Or a man age 50 non-tobacco user can buy $500,000 of coverage for a monthly premium of only $110, guaranteed not to change for the next 20 years. That's right, level rates for 20 years. And if you're a smoker, we have great rates for you as well. At the Term Lifeline, we specialize in policies of $500,000 and above. So if you're looking for new or replacement term life insurance, call right now for a free quote.
Rates and availability may vary by state. Sample rate quotes are based on preferred non-tobacco underwriting exam required to qualify. 800-803-1961. 800-803-1961. 800-803-1961. That's 800-803-1961.
Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube page and follow all the station's social media accounts and podcasts. Find out how at louinfo.com. back to more of Arch City Now with Vic Faust on the Lou Information Station, streaming 24/7 at louinfo.com.
Hey guys, good morning. Happy Tuesday. Glad you're with us for Arch City Now. Vic Faust here, producer Joe alongside Pro Joe. It is Tuesday. It is June 24th. Our time is 5:45. We're glad that you guys are with us this morning, getting things rocking and rolling. Okay, what we've got to get doing is, or 6:45, excuse me. I'm glad you guys are with us today. Hey, the heat today is a big deal. We know about that. Some pop-up showers possibly. Cardinals getting back to action tonight, trying to take their second straight game against the Cubs. It always feels good to win. It feels better to beat the Cubs 8-2 last night. 4 home runs for the Redbirds as they try to make it 2 in a row tonight. That could be some exciting news as well. If you want to jump in on our conversations, we like to remind you can do so at 855-282-8255. Once again, 855-282-8255. You can also watch us and stream us on X and YouTube at Arch City Now. Once again, X and YouTube at Arch City Now. And, of course, you can find everything all the time. You can stream at louinfo.com. It has everything that's happening with our show. And, of course, the shows that are on the network as well. So grateful for you guys to do that. If there are story ideas, things that are happening in St. Louis, let us know. Anything that you want to talk about, we'll do that as well. I am live in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. We continue to talk all things St. Louis. We're in our Cardinals gear, doing everything that we can to support St. Louis and promote our area. The issue that we've had is the fact that we were just talking about winter break. Is there a way? Is it legitimately possible to get enough people to move back into the St. Louis area to make it viable? That's what Mayor Kara Spencer has to figure out. That's what city leaders have to figure out. Is there time? How do you do this? How do you put the pieces of the puzzle in place now to generate that growth over time? What started that conversation was a Veterans Public Policy executive, Chip Gastile, said, quote, St. Louis is in trouble, real trouble, because the region has a slowing population as well. The chat line said maybe the area is just thinning out and people are moving away. And we have seen that happen over the last 30 years. I mean, look what happened. Jefferson County has grown. We certainly know that St. Charles County has grown. And even though St. Charles County has grown, Gastile also says the person who really started to put, or the people that started to put some information out there that they were concerned about, were public officials in St. Charles County, because they had massive growth. But he says that even St. Charles County has now reached a level where they're starting to level off. They don't see that continued growth sky high because there's only so many people. But even St. Charles County is like, wait a second, we don't have people coming out here anymore either. Now, it's all relative. But if you look at what's happening in St. Charles County and it continues to push forward west, it was just a couple of weeks ago. And Pro Joe, you might have remembered this. What was the hottest zip code for buying property? Do you remember what town the hottest zip code was in?
Wasn't it Cottleville?
No, Cottleville was number 2.
Harding Prairie?
That was number 4.
Okay.
I can't believe you forgot already because it's out closer to you.
Linceville?
Wright City.
Oh, right. So, okay.
Wright City was the number 1. Wright City. I mean, seriously, Wright City was the number 1 zip code where people were moving to in the St. Louis area. It was Wright City was number 1. Number 2 was Cottleville. 3 was Eureka. And 4 was Darden Prairie. People are just, I mean, you get spanned out. There's only so many places for people to go. And my gosh, we saw what happened to Wentzville in the last 20 years as well. I mean, high schools popping up all over the place, new high schools, and that's not happening in St. Louis City. We know we have our issues. A lot of it starts with crime or perception of crime. And those stories and those sorts of things will push you back. And then you want companies to invest and companies to come in, and it's just not happening. I mean, I don't know. People can give us their ideas from that standpoint. I guess the one thing that really, I look at this and it just takes so much time. We know this was in the city, like in more downtown city. when Janae Edmondson was hit and lost both of her legs by Daniel Riley, who blew through essentially a stop sign, yielding area. He's doing 18 years in prison for it, but she lost both of her legs. And that happened in Sydney. Of course, that gained national news, and people are like, oh, people running crazy all over the place. And we talk about this all the time with people who live in this area. And whether people will say it publicly or not, crime is a big issue, how police handle certain things. It is. And then now you have the state of Missouri taking over with the St. Louis Police Commissioners Board, which Mike Kehoe put 5 people on yesterday, business leaders as well. And you have to do something. You have to start attacking that. And we'll get into some of who those people are in a bit. But Janae, and then here's something else that happens in Missouri, not just specifically St. Louis. Janae loses both of her legs. She still suffers pain and nerve endings. She's trying to start life all over again. And her medical bills have reached about $2 million. If you didn't see yet, her settlement for what happened to her with the state is like $435,000. That's it. The most that she could even get would be $515,000 because of a state law which caps complaints and suits against the state at $515,000. So, I mean, those stories get pushed out there. Those stories, it's like, wait a second, they're not positive. And we try to promote the positive. We want to promote the positive all throughout St. Louis. But once again, there's good, there's bad in every city, every state. And that's just one that I do think hurts St. Louis from that standpoint, which is what we were talking about. Maybe it is. It's just thinning out, people moving out to places that they weren't before. And eventually, will that be a detriment to the city of St. Louis? If you drive around downtown in the evening time, if there's not a Cardinals game, are there people there? Where are people going to spend their money? Are we making it as business friendly as possible for businesses to move to St. Louis City? As a matter of fact, I know 2 business owners who got so frustrated, they moved out. They both moved to West County, and spent more money to do so. So we have to figure out all those things that are happening in our neck of the woods, around the area, to figure out, is this the best thing that we can do when we go there? So 6:53 is our time. We are bringing you everything St. Louis related. We love it when you guys jump in on the show, talk to us, let us know what you want to talk about, and like and subscribe and share the show, and let people know what we're doing. We get you going. 8 o'clock is Hot Take Central 2.0. Cam Jansen, Jim the Cat Hayes, they follow us. We do this Monday through Friday. And just bring you guests. We bring you information. If there are guests that you want to talk about, we'll do that. You can also email us at archcitynow@gmail.com. That's archcitynow@gmail.com. From the chat line, back in the day, North County used to be the area to live. Ford, McDonnell Douglas, employees lived there. Yes, I played for some soccer teams there myself, Greg, when it came to being in North County as well. People just need to have some honest conversations about how we make things better, because these are some of the stories that are being put out there right now. And at least the first thing you have to do is you've heard it before, you have to admit that you have a problem to correct it, right? That's the first thing that has to happen. And right now we're in a situation where the St. Louis area is trying to correct some issues. We can't deny the fact of the violent crime that was in St. Louis for so long. We can't. And businesses pulling out. But now, like it or not, the St. Louis City Board of Police Commissioners were put together yesterday by Governor Mike Kehoe. Once again, Mayor Kara Spencer was not for this, as the previous Mayor Tashara Jones was not, but she differently is attacking this by saying, yeah, I'll give it a shot. I'm not for it, but I'll work with people to see what we can get done. Some of those people who were put, the 5 commissioners, are Sonia Jenkins Gray. She was fired in the previous administration by Tashara Jones. She's coming back in. Chris Saraceno, Eddie McVeigh, Brad Ortega, and Don Brown. So, obviously these are people who the governor feels comfortable about. Will it help? I don't know. Saraceno's family owns Bartolino's restaurant. The father, Bart Sr., did serve on St. Louis's police board 2 decades ago. Maybe that's something that can be of note as well. So, he's just trying to put some people together that could happen. Don Brown, obviously, car dealer, Eddie McVeigh. These are people involved in the restaurant business. So you've got to find a way to do things differently, and you've got to do things that you've never done. Just like it says, if you continue to do what you've done, you're going to get what you've always gotten. So that's the St. Louis aspect of things. All of this coming out yesterday, all headlines, all talk about, which people are wondering, is it gonna work out? What do we have to do to make our region better? We all love the area, but we want it to be viable, and we want it to be around as well. We don't want to see things just fall apart at all. And people have to do things to take care of that, to make sure that they don't. Okay. Recently, we had people stealing trucks. We had a guy that stole a city dump truck and went on a joyride. They found him as soon as he arrived in Afton because of an air tag. And Projo, we talk about this all the time. It's like, when are people going to realize air tags they're inexpensive? People put them in their cars, and you should. People put them in their vehicles for professional work as well. And they put them in construction equipment too. You had a company, or you had 2 guys that stole a $41,000 Bobcat out of St. Charles, literally sitting there. So it was a Bobcat MT100 mini track loader, $41,000. They thought they were really cool. They didn't know that it had a tracking device in it, an air tag. So obviously the people who were the victims, they followed it. They continued to find out who these people were. They tracked them, and they were trying to rent it. So the victims were actually trying to rent back their own items just to keep that conversation going. And of course, the thieves had no idea. Police went and found them in Illinois. They got them over on the Illinois side. They were arrested thanks to air tags. I mean, have you used air tags, Projo? Would you? I mean, I haven't used them, but
I haven't. But this came up in conversation yesterday. I wonder if you can detect whether somebody has put an air tag on your car.
You mean if somebody's trying to track you?
Yeah,
that's not even legal,
I
is it?
don't think so. No. However, we had an issue yesterday. We shot at several locations, and we had a couple of kids on bikes come by, and they were messing around the cars while we were off on the location. We had to walk a ways to get where we were at. And we think they might have put an air tag on our car because we went to lunch shortly after that, like right up the street. It was definitely far enough away where they wouldn't have just randomly ended up there, but they followed us there basically. And they kind of were hanging around the car while we were inside eating.
And you think it was because of an air
tag? I can't
tag?
think of how else they tracked us, but that came up in conversation. It's funny that you talk about air tags today because we were just wondering if that's how they tracked us.
Yeah, well, we got a lot to talk about too. We got a whole nother hour coming up. Like, subscribe, join the show. Arch City Now. Back with more. Vic Faust here. Arch City Now. That's the voice of Projo, the producer. If there's a topic you want to jump into, let us know. You can also give us a call, 855-282-8255. We are the Lou Information Station. We're live and on demand at louinfo.com. Back with our second hour after this.
Are you paying too much for term life insurance? There's a tremendous price war among the major term life companies. Rates have dropped dramatically in the
Lou Information Station, 590 AM KLIS, Wood River, St. Louis.
USA Radio News. I'm John Summers. President Trump will be in attendance at the NATO summit this week in the Netherlands.
The conflict between Iran and Israel, as well as Russia's war in Ukraine, are expected to be the summit's leading issues. The high-stakes meeting comes right on the heels of the ceasefire between Iran and Israel that was announced by Trump. Israel later accused Iran of violating the terms of the agreement, with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu vowing a forceful response. I'm Mark Mayfield.
A new super PAC aimed at unseating Kentucky Congressman Thomas Massie. The Republican lawmaker has sparked pushback from President Trump after his sharp criticism of U.S. strikes against Iran, as well as his opposition to the president's big, beautiful bill. It's the first heat wave of the 2025 summer season in New York City.
The Big Apple is sizzling with high 90-degree temps and real field temps in the hundreds with the humidity in parts. Experts urging folks to stay inside with the AC if they can, otherwise head to cooling centers open around the region. Also avoid physical activity outside, but some still getting that in.
I've been walking and doing like a little bit of cardio and stretching, so don't go near me.
Governor Hochul has declared a state of emergency in 32 counties, including the 5 boroughs, Long Island, and communities north. I'm Jennifer Bolsoni.
Half a dozen massage parlors across Texas are shut down, all run by one man accused of human trafficking. Juan Lee Ping has been under investigation by the Texas Department of Licensing and Regulation, which claims all 6 locations advertise sexual services. There was also evidence workers were living on site. Artificial intelligence startup Anthropic safety tests have found that most AI models, including Meta, Google, OpenAI, and its very own, resort to blackmail if it feels threatened. From America's News Network, USA Radio News.
Let's see, if something costs less, a lot less, but people are actually happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that's MetaShare. Maybe you've heard joining MetaShare can save you or your family up to $500 a month, and that's huge, but it's also true. People are just happier with it. They love being part of something that reflects and promotes their values and what they believe in. MetaShare works, too. It's been around for 30 years now, and members have shared more than $7 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network. You can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care, whether you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan that you're happy with. Here you go. You can call right now and get a price within 2 minutes, a very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. It's 855-SHARE-40, 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 855-SHARE-40.
Who needs a vacation? Are you ready for an unforgettable getaway? Start packing your bags because Branson, Missouri, the vacation and entertainment capital of the U.S., is calling your name. Just $99 per person. A full 3-day, 2-night stay in a luxury full breakfast buffet every morning you're here. And when you call right now, free show tickets worth up to $100. That's right. Free show tickets to an award-winning show on us. You don't have to leave the country for an amazing vacation. You can drive or fly to Branson and have an incredible time. Whether you bring in the whole family or just planning a romantic escape, this trip is built for you. We guarantee you'll love Branson. This is not a timeshare. It's just an unbeatable vacation deal for only $99 per person. You book now, you can use your tickets anytime this year. You don't even know your travel dates to lock in the special price. Hurry, because this offer won't last long. Call our Branson vacation experts today.
800-497-7198. 800-497-7198. 800-497-7198. That's 800-497-7198.
Listen up, fellow timeshare owners. If you're a timeshare owner and you want out at all costs, you're done, frustrated, tired of wasting money, you don't use the darn thing. Get out now. Hire the best Bulldog timeshare cancellation team in the business. Their in-house legal team, headed by a timeshare cancellation lawyer, can help you fight the biggest and baddest companies out there that sell timeshare. At some point, you were using your timeshare, but now you're not, and you're tired of wasting money. Before you go to the poorhouse, call right now and learn how you can stop the maintenance fees and put more money back in your pocket. Their services cost you a lot less than you think, and you'll save a lot of money over time. Call the Timeshare Exit Hotline now. It's a free consultation.
800-824-5131. 800-824-5131. 800-824-5131. That's 800-824-5131.
Lou Information Station presents Arch City Now with Vic Faust.
Hey guys, good morning. Well, welcome into Arch City Now. I'm Vic Faust, producer Joe, alongside 7:05 is our time on this Tuesday morning. Going to be another hot one in the St. Louis area. Boy, oh boy, oh boy, you just don't get used to it either. It hit us out of nowhere, and now we're dealing with it. We're in the midst of it. Lots of heat, lots of humidity, as you might have heard on some of the updates. Might get a shower, pop-up shower, but then that might just make things even more humid. We'll see what happens with that. But yesterday, heat indice over 104. What are you doing in the St. Louis area to try to stay cool? Are you even able to get out and do anything? In the first hour, Pro Joe was telling us he was out at a shoot. He's a photographer as well, shooting models in cars, and they continue to do everything that they wanted to do in 104 heat, a shoot. Have you ever done a shoot in 104 degree heat before?
Probably. I just don't remember. I've had heat stroke. I've had heat stroke doing photography.
Okay, I got you. We are Arch City Now. I'm live in Myrtle Beach. Believe it or not, you hear some things in the background. The sun coming in, not so great with our equipment. I'm not even sure if you can see the ocean behind me, but we tried. We talk St. Louis and everything that's going on from that standpoint. It's hot all over the Midwest. It really is. Hopefully the Cardinals stay hot. They've won 6 of 7 now. Or excuse me, yeah, because they've won 6 of 7 games. They're 3.5 out. They beat the Cubs last night, which was awesome, 8-2. They used the long ball 4 different times, 4 homers in the game, and it felt right. And, of course, it always feels good when our team wins. Maybe the Cubs can't play in that heat. Cardinals getting a little healthier, which is good. The pitching was very, very good. That's exactly what they need. 3 more with the Cubs. Let's get a second straight coming up tonight. That would be awesome. Anything else you guys want to do, jump in the show, let us know. You can give us a call, 855-282-8255. That's 855-282-8255. We get you going every morning, Monday through Friday, 6 to 8 a.m. right here at Arch City Now. And we are glad that you guys bring in everything that you want to do, give out shout outs to anybody, talk about anything that you want to. And of course, we'll get you on there. You can watch us and stream us on Arch City Now on X and YouTube at Arch City Now, X and YouTube at Arch City Now. You can bring everything in from that standpoint, talking to us to make sure that your topics are being covered. Anything that you guys want to talk about, we will do that as well. Okay. We talked about the Cardinals. If you're a Chiefs fan, and there are a lot of Chiefs fans throughout the St. Louis metropolitan area, you can go to their practices, which are coming up, the preseason practices, July 12th through August 13th. Once again, July 12th through August 13th. They're open to the public, but you have to call in advance and reserve your tickets. They'll actually give you 6 free tickets to a practice, and you can do that up to 3 times. Once again, you get 6 tickets 3 different times to go watch the Chiefs. They host those at their Mosaic Training Field. You can go to their website, call them up and say, yeah, I want to come out to practice and enjoy your Chiefs football, Patrick Mahomes and crew. Also, one of the topics we've been covering today is what do we do with St. Louis? How do we get people to come back into the city? Because right now there are public executives talking about the problems in St. Louis with population. There's just not population, and we need population for the economy. There's a lot of things that A connects to B connects to C, and so forth. What can Missouri do to put itself, and St. Louis to put itself in a better situation when it comes to that? Free
booze.
what? Free booze.
That'll bring it down.
Well, it's worth something. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, and would people go? I mean, because we talked about it. We talked about it in the first hour. What's going to attract people? Families, a lot of safety, schooling, affordability. I don't know. There needs to be some very serious thinking because by all numbers, St. Louis, not only the city, but the area is dwindling in population. And is it because of people are just moving out west to all these locations or south into Jefferson County and more south? But Anyway, a lot of people trying to figure out those ideas. A lot of headlines that came out in the news yesterday. 7:10 is our time in St. Louis this morning. Some of those stories that we talk about is a positive way. Old Town Donuts, #1 in America by USA Today voters. They had a 64 team tournament, like the brackets for basketball. So what they did is 64 restaurants instead of teams, donut shops that went toe-to-toe in Old Town, in the Florissant area in Cottleville. Cottleville has a location as well. They ended up taking the top prize. That's a nice little feather in their cap. They get to go out and promote their donuts. But then it's one thing to get the job, but then you have to back it up. They got the substance, they got the style, they got the marketing. Projo's got their website up. I have had some Old Town Donuts. If you haven't, check it out. One of my former coworkers introduced me to Old Town Donuts, and I was like, okay, I'm in. I agree. Some really good eating with Old Town Donuts. And of course, if you only have one, it doesn't count. It doesn't count. The calories and fat, they don't count. The sugar does not count. It's all good. But we like to say congratulations to Old Town Donuts. If you guys have stories about any of those topics, you can jump in and share those as well. From the chat line, talking about heat. Yeah, somebody tell that goose that you're live on the air. Yeah, tell me about it. And it's only when I'm on live. Yeah, exactly. Broadcasting live from South Carolina. Also, from the chat line this morning, I was outside last night. This, of course, in St. Louis. I was outside last night at 10 p.m. and it was 90 degrees and had a hazy thickness in the air. Well, of course, there's nothing like our St. Louis summer nights with the hazy, hot humidity in the air. We know that. We deal with it. You get used to it.
Rainforest heat.
The what?
Rainforest heat.
Yeah, like rainforest heat. Rainforest weather. Rainforest weather throughout St. Louis. Yeah, it's supposed to be 3 degrees cooler. If cooler can even be a word that we'll talk about in the St. Louis area today. Yeah, enjoy whatever it is that keeps you cool. And I said it yesterday and we'll continue to say it. Just if you see people who are working outside and you can help them in some way, yeah, or if they're working for you, just try to remember what kind of heat and humidity they're dealing with, because obviously it's not fun to work in this stuff. Hey, by the way, the World Chess Hall of Fame concert series is going to be in St. Louis. People like checking that out. June 25th, that's going on. Once again, June 25th. Cake is at the factory tonight. That's something else people, going inside, checking out things that are happening inside, certainly making people more alert in what they want to try to go out and do. There's also comedy that's coming to the Loop, in the Delmar Loop, that is, especially after that area was hit hard. We're talking about comedians Eric Russler, J.B. Buchanan, Bree Munich, Sam Vining, and Black Charles. They're going to take the stage. That's going to be at the Moonrise Hotel Comedy Showcase. That's coming up in 2 days. Once again, in 2 days, 7 p.m. at the Moonrise Hotel Comedy Showcase. Joe, you're a comedy guy. Does any of that stuff ring with you?
I am. I didn't even know that was going on. Thanks for letting me know.
Yeah. Well, that's what we do. We're here for you, my friend. Just like we told people, do not steal. Do not tell people to steal. Do not think it's a good idea. Air tags. We were talking about air tags. If people use them to protect their vehicles, their stuff, I mean, it's a great way to protect. And we're already seeing it. You had 2 guys steal a Bobcat, literally one of those loaders, a Bobcat MT100, mini track multi-loader. And fortunately, the victims were able to track down the thieves because it had an air tag on it. Projo felt like he was tracked down yesterday.
I feel like that's kind of
common. How did they get? Okay, you were doing a photo shoot yesterday. How would somebody get an AirTag in your vehicle?
Well, we had to walk a little ways away from our car to get to where we actually shot, and there were kids in the area, and they saw what was going on, and of course, every time we shoot, it attracts a crowd. However, these kids were hanging around our vehicle, and then they ended up at a restaurant that we were at after we left that location.
They could
to go
follow you by driving too, though, right?
Yeah, but these kids were on bikes.
Oh.
Yeah, we're talking kids. Yeah, that's why we left, is because they were sticking around harassing us. So we were just like, all right, we're just going to leave. And then they followed us.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that stuff can happen. AirTags, not only here, but AirTags.
They actually text messaged their buddies, and more of them showed up at the restaurant. So it was the original 3 that were harassing us at the location, and then they brought more of their buddies, and they were all harassing us at the restaurant.
What area was this in?
St. Charles.
Okay, so you've got models, bikinis, fancy cars, and young boys.
Well, the young boys were not a part of the plan.
This is Arch City Now. I'm Vic Faust. That's the voice of Projo. Glad you guys are jumping in. You can stream us on YouTube and X at Arch City Now. Once again, Arch City Now on YouTube and X. You can also live stream us at luinfo.com. luinfo.com. We're grateful for you guys jumping on the show and telling us everything that's happening throughout the St. Louis area. What's happening in your neck of the woods. This show is about what the headlines are in St. Louis, what people are talking about, what should people be talking about, shout outs as well from that standpoint. We do it all here. Jump in. You can join the chat line on YouTube and X as well, and we'll try to get to your comments as best as we can during the show. Also, from the chat line, Projo, you were sharing a story in St. Louis. You try to do certain things at times and maybe people show up and harass you. You said you were being harassed. The chat line says Projo, and you can put yourself on camera to talk about it as well. How did you feel you and your models and your cars were being harassed while you were trying to do a photo shoot in St. Charles?
Well, just because they wouldn't leave the area. Like most people, because we were near a trail where people ride bikes and stuff, and most people just go right by and they don't stick around. Well, these kids came by and started text messaging friends, and then they started bringing more friends. And
are these attractive women?
Yeah, very.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. I already knew the answer to the question.
Right.
And they're in bikinis.
Yes.
And was this a public area?
I understand that attracts.
It was just a public area.
However, women or anybody in bikinis deserve respect and not to be like. Just because there's a girl in a bikini doesn't mean that like a swarm of people, and especially kids that were, it just didn't gel right. And it was definitely harassment because they kept coming by. They kept, we had to leave the area because they wouldn't leave us alone.
From the chat line, babes, bikinis, and cars. Most young boys' dream situation.
So
they weren't harassing you. They were and they didn't AirTag you. They were just there.
We were talking about it at lunch, and I'm like, and I was telling the models, I was like, I can't say that I wouldn't have done the same thing at that age. However, it was still harassment.
I guess this is the perfect question from the chat line. When and where is your next shoot?
We'll sell tickets this time.
Of course, people want to know. Hey, everybody. Good morning, St. Louis. We are Arch City Now. We're here Monday through Friday, 6 to 8 a.m., bringing you everything St. Louis, talking about the headlines that you guys want to talk about. Jump in on the chat line as people are doing, or give us a call. You can do that at 855-282-8255. We'll be back with more Arch City Now right after this. If there's something you want to get specifically into, we will. And, of course, kind of with the theme today, we'll talk about the Galleria losing one of its big stores. We'll be back with more right after this.
It's the hottest happy hour in St. Louis. In Your City Show with Kelly Lamb and Gordon Montgomery. Weekday afternoons from 4 to 6.
Hot Shots Sports Bar and Grill has a new menu. But don't freak out. Hot Shots favorites are still there, like their famous wings, tacos, burgers, and pizzas. Plus, sure to be new faves like Big Philly egg rolls, the Bold and Hearty Slugger sandwich, the Buffalo chicken pizza, and 2 new wing sauces, Carolina Gold and Bourbon Glaze. And making a comeback, it's the return of Hot Shots' legendary waffle fries. So now there's even more to love at Hot Shots. Come try out the new menu at Hot Shots Sports Bar and Grill. Find the location nearest you at hotshotsnet.com.
Hey everyone, Cam Jansen here to tell you about the experts at Fast Signs in Earth City. Fast Signs can handle any and all of your business visibility needs, from traditional signs and graphics to digital to core graphics and anything in between. Fast Signs in Earth City has you covered. The station uses them, the Blues use them, and you will love the work they do. Call 314-344-4400 for your custom signage needs today. That's Fast Signs in Earth City, 314-344-4400.
This is your LouInfo.com news update. St. Luke's will be closing its DePere Hospital because of financial pressures. Patients will be transferred elsewhere, and those who work at the hospital will be offered other positions or given severance packages. The hospital will close August 1st, while St. Luke's Medical Group, located in the DePere Medical Office building, will remain open. Work on the Tower Grove connector portion of the Brickline Greenway project is beginning. It's a $245 million project, adding miles of new paved foot and cycle paths. First phase is under construction now along Tower Grove and Van Deventer Avenues and will finish next summer. The second phase will begin after that. A man died after being electrocuted in a park in South St. Louis early Monday morning. Detectives think the man was tampering with the electrical box, trying to get it open at Carondelet Park when the accident happened. Florissant's Old Town Donuts has been voted the best in the U.S. in a bracket-style contest. Via the 64, the St. Louis County shop beat 63 others to win the title. For the Lou Information Station, streaming 24/7 at louinfo.com, I'm Jen Austin.
Here's your LouInfo.com weather update. A shower or thunderstorm possible today, but the big news will be the heat and humidity. That'll continue. We'll have some sunshine, mid-90s on the air temperature. Factoring in the humidity, it'll feel like about 103. So remember to stay hydrated today. Try to stay out of the sun as much as you can. Cloudy overnight, upper 70s, hot and humid again on Wednesday, mid-90s. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton for the Lou Information Station, streaming 24/7 at louinfo.com.
People ask all the time, who the heck is Low Cost Airlines? Well, we're not just one airline. When you're talking to us, you're talking to everyone. We are the discount supermarket for all airline tickets. Plus, we have all the airlines and always have the best prices. American, Delta, United, plus all the specialized international airlines and a lot more. And we make it easy. We guarantee you'll talk to a live human in 60 seconds. You can have the rate you need and have your trip booked in 5 minutes. Now, how cool is that? And remember, when you're talking to us, it's like talking to every single airline available with one fast phone call. All you need to do is call and find the best prices to fly wherever it is you want to go. So are you ready? Call Low Cost Airlines right now. 800-298-0306. 800-298-0306. 800-298-0306. That's 800-298-0306.
Listen up, fellow timeshare owners. If you're a timeshare owner and you want out at all costs, you're done. Frustrated, tired of wasting money, you don't use the darn thing. Get out now. Hire the best Bulldog timeshare cancellation team in the business. Their in-house legal team, headed by a timeshare cancellation lawyer, can help you fight the biggest and baddest companies out there that sell timeshare. At some point, you were using your timeshare, but now you're not, and you're tired of wasting money. Before you go to the poorhouse, call right now and learn how you can stop the maintenance fees and put more money back in your pocket. Their services cost you a lot less than you think, and you'll save a lot of money over time. Call the Timeshare Exit Hotline now. It's a free consultation.
800-824-5131. 800-824-5131. 800-824-5131. That's 800-824-5131.
The Lou Information Station content can be found online at luinfo.com, on our Lou Info YouTube page, and you can find all our local shows on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Just search by name or find all the links at luinfo.com. Back to more of Arch City Now with Vic Faust on the Lou Information Station, streaming 24/7 at luinfo.com.
Hi, guys. Good morning. Welcome into Arch City Now. Vic Faust here, producer Joe alongside that backdrop, if you can tell or not, with the cloud behind me or whatever it is, the sun glow. That is South Carolina. That's where I'm broadcasting live from. We'll be here this week. We are looking. Dang, I did go down. I'm trying to find some really good Wi-Fi on the beach. It's just not working, unfortunately. Trying. If people have any ideas, let us know. We'll do our best to make that quality look as good as it can. We're just glad that you're with us. So we say good morning, St. Louis. 7:25 is our time on this June 25th. This show is about you. It's about the topics, the headlines in St. Louis, as you know, what people are talking about, whatever it may be. Let us know. That's what we do when it comes to the chat line. And we appreciate you guys jumping in on YouTube and X at Arch City Now. Once again, Arch City Now on YouTube or X. You can also stream us at luinfo.com. If you want to give us a call, you can do that too. 855-282-8255. That is 855-282-8255. Other streaming platforms are coming after you pay your dues in regards to time. We'll get that coming up as well. We'd like to get your chat out there. Bad joke of the day. Iran has no Walmarts, Vic, only Targets. Okay, I got it. Glenn says, I got an idea how to bring population back to the city of St. Louis. Joe's hot model, bikini, fancy car shoots. Okay, there's a shout out. Man, at this point, anything would work. Right? It's attracting. We know it's attracting the young males. So there's one way to do that as well. Of course, some of the headlines. If you want to talk about the Cardinals, you can do that as well. We cover all the subjects. They won again last night, which was fantastic. 6 of their last 7 they've won. They're 3.5 out of first place behind the Cubs, who they're playing. 3 more games for people to go watch if they want to. If you can deal with the heat, of course, it's going to be another very, very hot day. It is summer in St. Louis. Of course, that's what happens. It's just really, really warm out of nowhere. The high today about 93, but, for the next 2, 3, 4 days, it's around 96 again. And, of course, that doesn't include the heat indice, which we know makes things so much more oppressive throughout the St. Louis metropolitan area. We talked about Old Town Donuts, obviously the big story for Old Town Donuts when it comes to the donut industry. Voted number 1 donut in America, which is really cool as well. If there's any topics that we have missed, let us know. We'll get to that. One of the things, and I know things change in life, but Nordstrom has decided to leave the Galleria. Weren't given any specific reasons why. We can only speculate. Their lease ends in August. And they say they're moving on. They're moving on from that standpoint. So, I just, when you hear those things and you see those things, as humans, it's natural for us to think negative. But if they were making money there, they would not be leaving. I think it's fair to say that. But many of us who are from the St. Louis area have a lot of really good memories from the Galleria. And they've been around for 40 years. And the Galleria isn't going anywhere. They're just losing Nordstrom. Will there be another corner store? Will there be another one that can help out? I don't know. We'll see. But they say the last day is going to be August 24th. The quote from Nordstrom is, "We believe we'll be best able to serve our customers in the area by leveraging our surrounding stores." And they have 2 other stores, including one at West County Center. And through our digital channels. That's what their company spokesperson said. They said decisions like this are never easy, and we understand the impact they have on our team members. We are taking care of our employees through this transition, which includes helping workers find new placements, within the Seattle-based company. If they were making money, obviously they would be staying at the Galleria. They're not making money, so they're leaving. And of course, there's been speculation about the Galleria being a good place to shop. Is it a safe place? Sometimes I have had no issues going into the Galleria. I was there like 2 months ago, I think it was. No issues, but just not what it used to be. And there you go. So it is what it is. Also, Greg says, no offense, but who shops at Nordstrom these days? Yeah. If anybody said it's a good question, I think it's a legit question. Are you still shopping at Nordstrom?
I agree with that. However, it's a bad sign, for any big business or big corporation to leave an establishment like that.
Damn, Joe. I know. It is. I agree. I could not agree any more for what you're talking about. It happens, and it's not a great look. We want things to be better. We want things to be positive. But I guess you can only control what you can control. So the Galleria losing one of its big stores. I don't know if it's a flagship store, but are they going to replace it? Because it's not the only thing that the Galleria has lost. And there's a lot of business in the Brentwood area. There's a lot of business that's still going on, a lot of positive. So you just want to see all that positive happen all over the place. But specifically, Nordstrom says that digital sales. Once again, more people do digital sales. And it's all about money. Don't think for a second it's not. It's all about you got to make money. If they're making money, they stay there. If they're not, they leave. From the chat line, the only time I stepped into Nordstrom or Neiman Marcus was when I was working in construction and they were being built. Okay. Yeah, fair enough. I can totally see that. This is Arch City Now. We talk about the subjects in St. Louis. We bring you interviews and content that is St. Louis based. That's what we talk about. We love it when you guys jump in as well. If there's a topic you want to talk about, make a comment. You can do so as others do on our chat line. You can do that on YouTube and X at Arch City Now. Once again, YouTube and X at Arch City Now. And you can give us a call. We gave that number earlier. We'll do it again, 855-282-8255. One of the things that the state is trying to do and help St. Louis, that was a big talk about, not necessarily one of those fun, happy, joy topics, is taking control of police in the city of St. Louis. Controversial topic. The former mayor did not want to do it. The current mayor, Kara Spencer, is jumping on, even though she has not followed it or agreed with it. She's trying to do whatever she can to make sure that we're at least giving the St. Louis area a shot at getting better, even though she doesn't agree with it 100%. And I credit her and her humility for trying to do that. Good morning to you, Linda. We appreciate you jumping in. And that's Mike Kehoe, the governor, who did announce the appointments yesterday to the St. Louis Board of Commissioners for the city of St. Louis, the police board. This is a vital step in the state takeover, but giving it to the St. Louis area to come up with ideas of how we can make the area better. Business leaders as well, some former politicians. Kara Spencer rounds out the voting members of the commission, which was established. Now, the complete transition back to state control is set to happen July 1st. Okay, that'll happen July 1st. So they had to put a team together. The governor puts in, Brad Ortega. He's a commercial photographer. Not sure if you're familiar with him, Projo, president of Ortega Photos LTD, a family-run company with more than 100 years of history in St. Louis. So he used to serve on a separate board, the city's Police Civilian Oversight Board, an appointment made by former Mayor Francis Slay. So he's also president of the St. Louis Hills Neighborhood Association and a member of the South Kings Highway Business Association. So, that you get an idea of what they're trying to do, of how they're trying to bring certain people in. You've also got Sonia Jenkins Gray. She's the former director of personnel for the city of St. Louis, but Tashara Jones fired her. She was fired on March 13th after she served in that role for since November of 2022. So she's coming back. Then you also have Eddie McVeigh. You may know the name. owner of several restaurants, including Maggie O'Brien's in downtown West and another location out in Sunset Hills. Chris Saraceno, the owner of several local restaurants as well, a big name throughout the St. Louis area. Chris's Pancakes, his family owned other St. Louis restaurants, Bartolino's, you name it. He's been around for a long time. Don Brown, second generation owner, family car dealership, served the city of St. Louis area for about more than 40 years. Derek Winters, transition director previously named. He's a St. Louis native, currently serves as a COO of No Inc. So all of these people have St. Louis ties. All of these people are being brought in. And of course, trying to make St. Louis a little bit better, a little bit safer, talking about bringing people in. We talked about it earlier. The veteran public policy executive, Chip Gastile, says, quote, "We are in trouble. St. Louis region's population growth spurs call for action." He says we're in real trouble. We're not getting people moving into the city, and the city is moving away, and the population growth is not there. And you need population growth to help spur the economy. You do. A connects to B, B connects to C. From the chat line, why not? For over 10 years, the city of St. Louis had control, and all we saw were carjackings, shootouts, and 13-year-olds carrying guns. Maybe it's time for a change. Yeah, it might be a time for change, and it's going to happen. And we just hope that the city of St. Louis benefits from all of this and the things that are going down. So we do what we can do. We promote the news. And of course, we love it when you guys jump in and talk. But this is what's happening throughout St. Louis right now. These are the subjects. Sometimes they're going to be happy, joy. Right now, those are subjects that, we're trying to do something different. We're trying to make sure that the city takes a different path, a different route. And we love it when you guys join us to talk about what's happening in St. Louis. And we love it when you guys send me things. You can do that, archcitynow@gmail.com. For instance, a company called Lumber Logs throughout the St. Louis area, not familiar with them. What they're doing is they have a lumber recycling company that has been removing trees from all the storm damaged neighborhoods. And there are plenty of them in St. Louis. They're sorting through the trunks to find usable logs, milling them, and then using them as lumber. The company's been operating in the city for more than 20 years. The owner thinks of it as a higher calling for trees that would be simply discarded. So I love the idea. They're literally sourcing storm damaged lumber from the city, and it can come with disadvantages for mills. He said that urban wood sometimes contains bits of metal from nails, flagpoles, etc., that can damage saws. Oh, makes sense. So they're trying to help out in any way that they possibly can. So Lumber Logs, trying to help the city, trying to keep things a little bit cleaner. So definitely a positive story. Somebody else who deserves a shout out in our city is CoolDownSt.Louis.org. Once again, CoolDownSt.Louis.org. They're celebrating 25 years of service in the community. They literally heat up St. Louis and cool down St. Louis because so many people can't afford it. I know it may be difficult to believe, but they're thanking media, regional groups, and leaders for the efforts in educating and advocating in utilities to help others and put others first when they need help of their own. So congratulations to Cool Down St. Louis. You can check them out online as well when it comes to things that are happening throughout the St. Louis area. We were talking about this a little bit earlier too. Air tags, if you're just joining us, saving the day again. Two guys thought it would be a wonderful idea to steal a $41,000 Bobcat. The exact Bobcat was an MT-100 mini track loader. Well, the victims were able to track these two guys. It was stolen in St. Charles, and then it was taken to the Metro East where it was going to be rented out and used. And air tags were able to save the day. They were able to set up a fake rental. Police were there. They got the guys, and the rest is history. AirTag saving the day. Be careful from that standpoint. By the way, if you want to jump in on the show, you can do it. Join the conversation on YouTube and X Arch City Now. Once again, if you want to give us a call for our final segment, you can do that. The phone number 855-282-8255. We got to take a break. We are your Lou Information Station. We are live and on demand at louinfo.com. Back with more right after this.
Nobody has more passion for music than Tony Patrico, and you can hear that passion come to life each week on Sounds of STL, Monday and Wednesday at 3, only on the Lou Information Station, streaming 24/7 at louinfo.com.
Summer in St. Louis means one thing: Cardinals baseball. It's more than a game. It's an STL tradition. The crack of the bat, the roar of the crowd, the boom of the fireworks. It's the soundtrack to summer for Cardinals Nation. So grab your cap and glove and take your spot in the stands, because in St. Louis, baseball is more than a melody. It's our favorite song.
This is former Cardinal and Navy Lieutenant Mitch Harris. Salute those who served. Join the Cardinals on Friday, July 11th for Military Appreciation Night, presented by Boeing. With a special themed ticket, fans will take home an exclusive Cardinals 40-ounce tumbler, honoring all 6 military branches. Arrive early for a powerful pregame concert by the U.S. Air Force Band on the Budweiser stage. And best of all, a portion of each ticket benefits USO Missouri. Get your tickets at cardinals.com/station. St. Louis Cardinals for the Lou.
Join your fellow St. Louis City SC fans at Hot Shots Sports Bar and Grill. All St. Louis area Hot Shots locations are proud to be a part of City on Tap, presented by Michelob Ultra, the official network bringing St. Louis City fans and ice cold beer together. Catch every exciting moment of the 2025 MLS season at Hot Shots. Since 1990, Hot Shots has championed St. Louis sports, and they're thrilled to keep the tradition alive for St. Louis City SC. Find the Hot Shots near you at hotshotsnet.com.
This is your louinfo.com news update. St. Luke's will be closing its DePere Hospital because of financial pressures. Patients will be transferred elsewhere, and those who work at the hospital will be offered other positions or given severance packages. The hospital will close August 1st, while St. Luke's Medical Group, located in the DePere Medical Office building, will remain open. Work on the Tower Grove connector portion of the Brickline Greenway project is beginning. It's a $245 million project, adding miles of new paved foot and cycle paths. First phase is under construction now along Tower Grove and Van Deventer Avenues and will finish next summer. The second phase will begin after that. A man died after being electrocuted in a park in South St. Louis early Monday morning. Detectives think the man was tampering with the electrical box, trying to get it open at Carondelet Park when the accident happened. Florissant's Old Town Donuts has been voted the best in the U.S. in a bracket-style contest. Via the 64, the St. Louis County shop beat 63 others to win the title. For the Lou Information Station, streaming 24/7 at louinfo.com, I'm Jen Austin.
Here's your louinfo.com weather update. A shower or thunderstorm possible today, but the big news will be the heat and humidity. That'll continue. We'll have some sunshine, mid-90s on the air temperature. Factoring in the humidity, it'll feel like about 103. So remember to stay hydrated today. Try to stay out of the sun as much as you can. Cloudy overnight, upper 70s, hot and humid again on Wednesday, mid-90s. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton for the Lou Information Station, streaming 24/7 at louinfo.com.
Looking to get organized and support local? At St. Louis Closet Company, we've been designing custom closets and storage solutions right here in St. Louis for over 30 years. From walk-in closets to home offices and even pantries. We create personalized, organized spaces that fit your lifestyle and your space. Built locally and installed professionally. Call 314-781-9000 for your free estimate or visit stlouisclosetco.com today.
Are you paying too much for term life insurance? There's a tremendous price war among the major term life companies. Rates have dropped dramatically in the past 2 years. For example, a man age 45 non-tobacco user, $1 million of coverage is only $75 per month, level for the next 10 years. Or a man age 50 non-tobacco user can buy $500,000 of coverage for a monthly premium of only $110, guaranteed not to change for the next 20 years. That's right, level rates for 20 years. And if if you're a smoker, we have great rates for you as well. At the Term Lifeline, we specialize in policies of $500,000 and above. So if you're looking for new or replacement term life insurance, call right now for a free quote.
Rates and availability may vary by state. Sample rate quotes are based on preferred non-tobacco underwriting exam required to qualify. 800-803-1961. 800-803-1961. 800-803-1961. That's 800-803-1961.
The Lou Information Station. Yeah, we're a talk station, but not your daddy or granddaddy or great-granddaddy's talk station. We're the new kids on the block. No, not those new kids, just regular new kids. Anyway, the Lou Information Station, streaming 24/7 online at luinfo.com. And we actually know what all of that means. Back to more of Arch City Now with Vic Faust on the Lou Information Station, streaming 24/7 at luinfo.com.
Hey guys, welcome back into the show. Glad you're with us. Vic Faust here live from South Carolina as we do our show. A little vacation time, so to speak. Pro Joe back in the studio, making sure everything is good as it can be. If you want to jump in the show, you have this final segment to do so. 855-282-8255. Once again, 855-282-8255. Of course, you can stream us all the time on YouTube and X at Arch City Now. And if you want to jump in, be a part of the show, be an advertiser, email us at archcitynow@gmail.com. Once again, archcitynow@gmail.com. Glad you're with us today. Things that are heading up on the news today. Also, something that was just sent to me, and we love it. You guys can do it if you have. But a shout out today. We love to do shout outs for people throughout the St. Louis area as well. And that is Mr. Ben Schuster, a 28-year-old who grew up in Richmond Heights, who literally hiked the entire Appalachian Trail. If you don't know about the Appalachian Trail, look it up. And that is insane. 2,200 miles. Ben Schuster, originally from Richmond Heights. Congratulations on that. That is, I can't even imagine. How many shoes do you go through hiking 2,200 miles? But anyway, we appreciate you guys letting us know about that. What's happening with certain people around the St. Louis area. Other positive news from the St. Louis area. If you didn't see yet, the City Arch River Project made $572 million. Had an economic impact of $572 million. Of course, that with the arch and all the money that was spent on that, that's a huge deal. Also, Rosemary Coffee Company debuting in Twin Oaks. A shout out to them. Best of luck on making that business as positive as it can possibly be. We got Cardinals action again tonight. Speaking of positive, winners of 6 of 7. They take on the Cubs, trying to win 2 straight against them. They're 3.5 games out of first place right now. Why not? Why not take 4? Bring them into our heat, because we know the heat indices could be over 100 today. High temperature expected around 93, 94 degrees. Yesterday it was 97, but that heat index got up to 104 degrees yesterday. And of course, what are you doing to stay cool? What can you do throughout the St. Louis metropolitan area outside when it gets this hot? Is there anything you can do? We do not recommend photo shoots, as we found out from Pro Joe. Yes, it can be hot, and yes, it can draw a lot of attention if you have the certain kind of content that he has with those bikini models and cars from that standpoint. From the chat line, Cindy says, "Hey, Vic, I missed you. Glad to find you." Yes, let everybody know we have just started this show, Arch City Now, Monday through Friday, 6 to 8 a.m., getting you started with news headlines, interviews, anything that St. Louis, what people are talking about, what's going on, what's moving the needle for you. And following us every day, Monday through Friday, is Hot Take Central 2.0 with the former St. Louis Blue, Cam Jansen, and St. Louis broadcaster Jim the Cat Hayes. We're always looking for content. We're always looking to promote St. Louis. We're always looking to talk about the stories, the things that are making news throughout the St. Louis area. And that's what we'll continue to do Monday through Friday. You can go to our email account, once again, archcitynow@gmail.com, if there's stories, information, interviews that you want us to cover. We were talking about a comedy night that's coming up Thursday at the Moonrise Hotel in the Del Mar Loop, starting at 7 o'clock. Many acts there. You can check that out. Also, when it comes to July, which is right around the corner, the concert series. By the way, Cake is at the Factory tonight. I do remember that. DJ Jazzy Jeff. Yes, DJ Jazzy Jeff has a concert coming to St. Louis. Luke Bryan, Wiz Khalifa, just some of the must-see concerts that are coming to St. Louis for July. Not sure if that moves the needle for you or not, but once again, we're putting all that information out there as best as we possibly can. We talked about it a little bit earlier in the show. We certainly wish the best for Janae Edmondson. It wasn't a bright spot for St. Louis when the guy essentially ran a stop sign. It was a yield sign. Daniel Riley spending 18 years in jail. He hit Janae Edmondson, took her legs. She got a settlement of like $455,000. That's it. The most she could get would be like $515,000 because of a state law in Missouri. That's it. So you hope and pray the best for her. Her medical bills are already at about $2 million. I pray that there's something else going on for her from that standpoint in regards to helping take care of some of those things. We'd love to promote the World Chess Hall of Fame concert series. That's tomorrow night. That starts at 7 p.m. at their location. So we wanted to promote that as well. And, you know, you heard about it in our news headlines. Old Time Donuts from Florissant voted #1 donut place in America. You've got one in Florissant. And, of course, you've got another shop in Cottleville. Check out those donuts that Projo puts up. Another happy, positive note to talk about when it comes to St. Louis news. Anything else that you guys want to talk about today, we'll do that. Nordstrom leaving the Galleria. That's happening next month at the end of their lease. They're focusing more on their other stores and digital sales. Bottom line is they weren't making money at the Galleria. You know, it's not the first time that that's happened with certain stores. So you got to adapt and change and see what else you can possibly do. If you're a Kansas City Chiefs fan, you can go to their practices. All right. That's right. Their practices. And you know what? Here's the thing. When I was in sports, I covered several NFL training camps. And the first time you go out there, it can be kind of exciting. I mean, and if you haven't done it, it's another chance to see your favorite players up close and personal. I know there's a lot of Chief fans throughout the St. Louis area. And maybe if you haven't done it, it could be something fun for you to do. All you have to do, they host these practices, by the way, at their Mosaic training fields. You go to their website, you get their number, and you call. Their camp is from July 22nd through August 13th. Once again, July 22nd through August 13th. You can get up to 6 free passes. They're free. These camps are free. Practices are free. 6 free passes, 3 different days. So up to 6 free passes, 3 different days to go out and check out the Chiefs. Get ready for the upcoming season as they start their training camp in July. I don't know. Maybe it's something that you guys might want to do. Who knows? You know, we just try to make sure you guys know about everything that's happening from that show. We are Arch City Now, Monday through Friday, 6 to 8 a.m., trying to get a vibe of everything that's happening in St. Louis. What's moving the needle for you? You let us know. We will do anything and everything that we possibly can. Now, the one story I was talking about earlier, I talked about Chip Gastile, a veteran public policy executive, saying that he's concerned about the city of St. Louis. The population growth has stopped. How do you get people back to St. Louis? We've been serious about it. We've been joking about it. But even politician Bill Eigel, who was on the show a few weeks ago, tweeted about it, saying, I've been saying this for years, that population stagnation is the biggest problem for the city of St. Louis, that we're not getting people coming to the area. How do you do this? What do you do? He goes on to say that we're reminded this year again that no major solutions are likely to emerge from Jefferson City, meaning that we've got to take other steps to improve the fiscal and social situation ourselves. Now, then he got political and said the answer is less government taxes and regulation, not more. Is that what's going to bring people back to St. Louis? I don't know. Is it safety? If you want families, you better have good schools unless you expect people to move to the city and then send their kids to private schools. I don't know if that would make sense or not, but it is what it is. And we continue to try to help you from that standpoint and help the city of St. Louis. Also wanted to give a shout out. If you or anybody you know is still dealing with any sort of issues from the tornadoes and you need help, FEMA is there. The fastest way to get help with FEMA is you go online. It's disasterassistance.gov. Disasterassistance.gov. That's one way to help. You can also contact the American Red Cross. They're helping with construction literally for free if you qualify. They just come out and they check out your house. The American Red Cross is another way that you can go and try to get help for yourself and help for others, for people who are looking for anything that they possibly can. So do what you can, help others. It's super darn hot outside. Projo, no shoots today, right?
No, none planned. However, I know there's probably more coming either later on in the week or next week.
By the way, I want to give a shout out if you haven't been watching on Mondays and Wednesdays with Tony Patrico, Sounds of St. Louis. He had another really, really good show yesterday with all the big shows that are coming to the St. Louis area. Make sure that they understand all that is going on. Those are some really, really, really cool things. And of course, our news updates have been talking about it, but even Mayor Spencer, Kara Spencer, said that the construction of protected bike lane from Tower Grove Park to the Brick Line Greenway and Cortex is getting underway. They had an $18 million initiative to get that going. So, that's something that will certainly help the city of St. Louis. There's no doubt about that. And of course, we appreciate everybody who's been jumping in on the chat lines, talking about topics and news that's making headlines throughout the St. Louis metropolitan area. If you have guest ideas, you can let us know. It's just, it's sad when you say that you hear we're in trouble. We are in trouble in the city of St. Louis when it comes to population, and that's what we were talking about. So, as always, you can email us and let us know about story ideas, guests from that standpoint, and we'll do our best to do that. Also, coming up on, what do we got here? Just making sure. Okay. Yep. I wanted to make sure that we had all of the headlines in. Once again, if you want to know anything about our network, anything that's going on, you go to luinfo.com, luinfo.com. And again, from the chat line, as we continue to talk, Vic, can you imagine people going to the Muni in this weather? I know. I brought it up last week talking about the Muni beginning their 107th season. And a Muni and or Cardinals, parents who've had Muni kids who have participated, people who've gone to the Muni. It's a treat. It's a St. Louis treat, no doubt about it. The issue is the heat, trying to stay cool somehow, some way. Maybe a little bit of relief next Tuesday or Wednesday, but we are in summer in St. Louis. It is what it is. Get ready, try to enjoy it, do your best. Have a great day. If you're going to the game tonight, go Cardinals. Make it 2 in a row against the Cubs. Things are always better when we beat the St. Louis Cubs. And then if you have stories, we'll be back tomorrow, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, 6 a.m., ready to make things happen for you and your day. Once again, roundup of some of those quick highlights. Congratulations to Old Town Donuts. Check them out today. Voted #1 donut in America by USA Today, readers and voters. That was a huge, huge deal from that standpoint. For them, it's always nice to promote that. And also, if you're going to steal something, you better make sure that the air tags are not in it. There's our advice for the day, guys. Thanks for joining us. This is Arch City Now. Vic Faust here, Projo. Thank you for joining us. As always, we are your information station, live and on demand at luinfo.com. That does it for our show. Thank you for checking in. We'll catch up with you guys tomorrow.
Are you paying too much for term life insurance?